Our guest tonight, we're going to interview him a little bit before he then speaks. He's a friend of mine. We worked together for a couple of years down in London, and he's come up from the Midlands to be with us today. Can we give a massive warm welcome to the Reverend Paul Cowley, MBE? There we go. So many things in that introduction that probably...
Yeah, there was a lot.
Well, let's start with that. So we met each other at HDB, where I worked for a few years.
We did.
And you at the time...
You were quite tricky, if I remember.
It's one way, this interview. We went into prisons a fair bit. We worked on a shelter that you set up together. You set up there. So tell us a little bit about some of the stuff you were working on while you were at HDB.
I had a great privilege to work at HDB, Holy Trinity Brompton, for about 25 years. I was on staff, 22 of them ordained. And it was a great opportunity at the time to set up stuff with Sandy Miller and Nikki. So I had a passion to try and help those on the margins of society. You'll find out why in a bit. So we started a homeless shelter, a night shelter, a drop-in, a charity caring for ex-offenders, which helps men and women when they come out of prison find the church and try and reintegrate. The William Wilberforce Trust, anti-trafficking. It was just a great time to have a go, and I had the, I think it was a privilege to have a boss, you know, Sandy and Nikki, who just said, crack on, let's do what it says in the scriptures. So I had a great time there, it was brilliant.
And then you helped plant a church on a council estate?
Yeah, we did a couple of sites, me and Amanda, my wife, there on the front. We started an Anglo-Catholic site at St. Augustine's, which you were at, dressed in your robes, looking very nice.
No photo evidence.
He was in robes. I'll dig some photos out.
Can I share a story real quick? The first time I preached at that church, right, I'm not from a traditional church background, and so I had to wear this kind of frock thing. And
robes.
Robes. And when you spoke at Paul's church, you had to send him notes in advance. I sent him my notes in advance, and he read through them and said they're okay. And then I was getting ready to preach. And someone does a reading in a very nice, formal voice, you know, and then they say, "Thus saith the Lord," or something, and everyone says, "Da, da, da." And as that person went to sit down, Paul turns to me and says, "The Archbishop of Canterbury has just walked in. Don't mess it up." And that was it. That was my first time preaching at your church, which was very kind of you. And so then, at the end of your name...
And I think we both got in trouble, didn't we?
I think we did, because we both wore brown shoes.
We both had brown shoes on, and canon law in the Church of England, you're not allowed to wear brown shoes. I know. Very important. So we both had brown shoes on, so we both got told off by the Archbishop.
So Rev is at the beginning of your name?
Yes.
MBE at the end?
Yes.
What does that mean? What did you get that for?
Member of the British Empire. It's an honour from the Queen, and I got it really for that charity I mentioned, Caring for Ex-Offenders. Someone nominated me for it. So it was it's a very exciting day when I got it. We went to the palace to be awarded it. And what was really nice is that there was loads of people getting different awards, far better than mine. And they read out what your award's for in this big hall. Amazing. And what was really nice, it was read out that mine was for work done for men and women coming out of prison, caring for ex-offenders, and it echoed around Buckingham Palace, and I thought it was really exciting. That's why I got the award, which was very nice.
Wicked. And you resigned from HDB last year?
I did.
What are you doing now?
I'm now the Director of Rehabilitation for Iceland Foods. Do we know Iceland Foods? Mm-hmm. Do we know the food warehouse and all that stuff? Put your hand up if you shop at Iceland's. Or have you been in there? Why is no one putting a hand up? Anyway, so I sort them out with you. I work for the retailer Iceland Foods. I'm the Director of Rehabilitation, and through a relationship with the owner, Sir Malcolm Walker, he asked me if I'd come on board and do a startup, establish a second chance program for men and women coming out of prison. Iceland is, even though you don't know it in here, Iceland is 1,500 stores, 30,000 staff, 5,000 drivers, and nationally all over the UK. So it was an amazing opportunity, and they've got a good heart. And I like the boss, Sir Malcolm, and he said, "Come on, let's do it." And I have a vision. He said, he's not a Christian, this man. I have a vision, he said, that I want at least 10% of our workforce to be men and women from prison, which is nearly 3,000. So I've got quite a job on.
And how's it going?
It's going really well. We're up to possibly in the next month, it will be about 100 men and women in jobs as retail assistants in the stores or home delivery drivers. So it's going well. I've lost a lot. You know, it's really hard coming out of prison and trying to integrate one back into society when you've been away from it, and also to hold down the job that a lot of us get used to, that routine. These men and women are just not used to it, and it's really difficult for them. So we try and help them, support them, get into employment. But when it works, it's really exciting. Now I get little texts from guys, thanks boss, first time I've had a job that's legal. You know, thank you, I've been able to buy presents at Christmas for my children, and back with my partner again, life's a lot better. Just nice stuff, you know, it's worth it for that.
And you're going to share a little bit about your story, but there is a book that Paul and Amanda wrote about Paul's story.
Amanda wrote.
It says with Amanda Cowley in small letters, which is a bit naughty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Amanda definitely did the
that
donkey's book.
was a sore point when it started. No, she wrote it, I just gave the stories.
Thief, Prisoner, Soldier, Priest, available on Amazon and all good bookstores. It's even in Waterstones, you know. Just next to all the Liverpool football players' new books, you'll find this. But seriously, it's an amazing book. And I'm not just saying it because he's here and it's polite to, but there are a lot of books that when my mates who don't know Jesus are like, that I'm kind of thinking, what would be a good thing to give them? This is perfect because it shows a radical heart change, and it's so relatable because it's not like, I don't want to make any spoilers, he wasn't like illegal gun trafficking all over the world where it's so random and there's just story after story of just getting it wrong. And I think all of us can probably relate to that, right? I mean, I can, of just moments by moments, just getting stuff a little bit wrong, and then what Jesus does when he comes into your life, and how he can take all that stuff and turn it for his good. So if you want a book recommendation to give a good mate who doesn't yet know Jesus, this is perfect. I mean, all the people on it who talk about it as well, from Bear Grylls to some very fancy people you know, don't you?
I do.
Prince Michael of Kent. He sounds like a
nice
good guy. But yeah, grab it on Amazon. There's a little flyer there. Let's pray for Paul before he speaks. Can we give him a massive round of applause?
Thank you.